Hi, Ryan. Welcome to my class.
Hello.
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 Hi, Izzy.
Hello.
Ooh. Hi. Hi, Tim. I love your room.
Oh, you still connecting audio?
There it is.
Hey.
Hello. You been up a while, Ryan?
Yeah.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 오랜만이에요. Ryan.
What's up?
Ooh, Alex. 오랜만. Joan, hi.
Hi.
Yeah. Love your hair.
안녕하세요.
Is
Thank
that
you.
your real hair?
Mhm.
Wow. That's awesome. You look like someone from a fairy tale or something.
Aw, thank you.
Oh, okay. Let's wait for
Yes.
maybe. Oh, it's 11. Okay. So, as I wrote in the topic, today we're going to look at some Korean words that represent Korean, maybe characteristic or temper. Ooh, okay. Hi, Nathan's iPhone. Korean. Ooh, hi.
Hello.
Hi, Nathan. Ooh, hello, Amanda.
Hi.
Hi. I like this ding dong sound. This ding dong sound. A new person comes in. So today we're going to look at some words that shows or that words that represent Korean characteristic or temper, and also some funny Korean words and Korean words that are difficult to translate. We have some advanced Korean learners here as well, so some people might already know these words, but then please help us with your knowledge. Okay, then let's get started with some words that show Korean temper. Do you guys have any ideas, any words that come to your mind when you think of these words?
Of which words?
Korean words that show maybe Korean characteristic, represent Korean people.
Well, for me, it'd be jibang.
지방?
나눈 jibang. 있어요.
지방이요?
So I'm like, I would have like a lot of fat, so that would characterize me.
You don't look like one.
Well, 피자 항상 먹고 싶어요.
아, 그래요? 아, 오늘 그거랑 관련된 단어도 하나 배울 거예요. We are going to learn one word related to that as well. Maybe let's learn that first. This was included in the funny Korean word. But do you know this Korean word that represents this belly?
What is?
This belly. Belly. There is this word called
Let me get.
똥배.
동배.
And this literally means poop belly. I really didn't know that I will start with this word. Poop belly. And Koreans say when we have lots of belly fat, then we say, 아, 똥배가 너무 많이 나왔어. Or, 똥배 나왔어. In English, people say beer belly. But I think in Korea, we say belly. It makes sense because all these foods that we eat becomes poop. Okay. Anyways, so Ryan, maybe you have 똥배.
Come on.
Oh, most of us have 똥배 though. It's a little not normal to have 똥배. Anyways, okay. Some other words that you think this characterizes Korean people. Maybe 빨리빨리, something like that. Yeah, 빨리빨리. Korean people have, I think, little patience when they're waiting for something. They want everything to be fast. And it works too. It's sometimes really convenient to live in Korea because everyone in Korea can be very 빨리빨리. And when it's not 빨리빨리, then people sometimes like become angry. 왜 이렇게 느린 거야? Why are you so slow? Something. So 빨리빨리 can be one. And this famous word that always comes out when people say this represents Korean characteristic. Right? Also, if you have any question, then feel free to ask me whenever you want. 빨리빨리 for those who doesn't know, this means fast. 빨리 means fast. So Korean people say this phrase a lot. 빨리빨리 좀 해. Do it fast. 빨리빨리 가. Go fast. Or 좀 빨리 먹어라. You're eat fast. You're too slow. 빨리빨리 좀 합시다. Let's do it fast. 네? 빨리빨리. And then this is another word. 정 is another word. Anyone who knows 정? Oh, okay. Ryan P.
Jong is like, how do you explain that? Isn't it like the relationship between two people and like how like close they are, or like the synergy? It's weird to how do you explain that?
Yeah, Ryan is right. So all the translators in Korea, they also say that it is really difficult to find a word that can directly translate Hong into English or maybe in other languages as well. Hong is this mind or feeling that rises for someone or something. And there are many words or phrases in Korea that is related to Chong. So example of Chong can be something like a new neighbor moved to this apartment, and this neighbor makes pancakes or cake, usually 떡, rice cakes, and then they give this to other neighbors to eat. They don't need to do that. They don't need to do that because, you know, they don't need to do that, but they want to do that because they want to share this love or share this affection. Ryan P said synergy, this heartful act, maybe something like that. That is 정. 그래서 this is always used as a representative word that to describe Korea, because sometimes Koreans can be a little nosy. Maybe people think this is being nosy, or maybe a little, you know, in an individualistic perspective, then this can be a little, oh, why are you like that? So another example can be like Koreans like to order lots of plates all together, and like 5 or 6 dishes when there are 4 people, and then we eat everything all together. There's not like, oh, this is mine, this is yours. It's like, okay, we order everything and we eat together. But some people might not like it, like my brother. My brother doesn't like to do that. He has a distinct taste, and he always wants to order his own plate. And when I say, 누나도 한 숟갈만 먹자, I want to have 1 spoon of that. And then he's like, nope, you have yours, I have mine. So in Korea, people, we can describe someone like my brother. Sorry, my brother. 정 없다. 정 없다. Or 정 없어요. 정이 없어. 내 동생은, my brother, 정이 없어요. Or you can say, 정이 많아요. 정이 많아요. Like, someone makes banchan, in Korea, many people make banchan in their homes, like they make kimchi or they make something other banchans. They can just make their own portion of banchan, kimchi, but they make like 5 portions of kimchi and they give it to other neighbors and they give it to their friends, relatives. Then you can describe, 저 사람은 정이 많아요. 아유, 어떡해. 정이 많아요. 너무 좋아요. So usually in Korea, 정이 많아요 is used in a positive way, and 정이 없어요, like, no, don't eat mine. Why do you eat mine then? That's considered as, 저 사람은 정이 없어. That person has no 정. I don't know how to translate this. No, how would you translate this, Ryan P? 저 사람은 정이 없어.
I'm not sure either. 정기 없다.
Empathy,
Like
compassion.
Yeah, maybe like, that person doesn't have that much compassion. That sounds a little strong,
Right.
So it's kind of difficult to translate.
Maybe like stingy.
Stingy, maybe. But still, stingy is too specific to describe this. 정이
Okay. So it depends on like the situation then.
맞아요. Yeah, depends on the situation. 맞아요. We can also use phrases like 정이 들었다, 정들다. 정들다. This means when you spend time with so let's say that you travel to Korea and you lived in someone's house for maybe 1 month. They used to be a stranger, but now you become close because you guys become like family. You feel this community sense together. Then you say, 정들었어. I feel close to them. I feel like I'm like a family to them. I feel like I'm friends to them. 정들었어. We say 정들다. This is the verb when we use 정이 들다. And the opposite word for 정들다 this is used often when friends like they fight and then they think, okay, I'm never going to see that person again, or these couples when they think like, okay, I'm done with that person. Then we say 정 떨어졌어. 정 떨어지다. 진짜 정 떨어져. Like I never want to see that person again. Like I have no 정 to that person at all. I don't want to care for that person at all. I'm never going to see your face again. Then we say, 진짜 너 정 떨어졌어. Go away.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. My sister-in-law. Yeah.
Really? So
Yeah, she
the
says it all
person
the
says this?
Yeah, my sister-in-law. Because I bother her.
Okay.
Because she doesn't speak English, so I always mess with her. And stuff.
Okay. So in a funningly way, she say,
Yeah.
정 떨어져. And when you want to emphasize this 정 떨어져, then you use this onomatopoeia. 정이 진짜 뚝 떨어졌어. 난 너한테 정이 뚝 떨어졌어. Like, no emotion between you and me whatsoever. And that's 정 뚝 떨어지다. I hope you don't have situations that you use these words. Ryan is an exception because he's doing it in a jokingly way. But yeah, so you can use these phrases. Also, there are many types of 정. There's good 정, like 고운 정. Like, we share things with each other. When I make my food, I make your food too. When we eat, you can eat mine, I can eat yours, blah, blah, blah. 고운 정. But there's also 미운 정. 미운 정 comes from this verb 밉다. Maybe you heard this from dramas or something like, 너 미워, 너 싫어, 미워. And 미워 means I hate you, I don't like you, something like that. But then 미운 정, I don't know if you can relate, but sometimes people fight and they become closer. You know, sometimes people fight. Maybe this means that they care for each other, so they fight, right? So we have a word to describe that. It's 미운 정. Because 정, this usually means good thing. 미운 means, oh, I hate you, I don't like you. 미운 means that. But 미운 정, what's that? That's something like maybe 미운 정, these couples that are married for 10 years, they've been through a lot, they had good times, they had bad times, and they have all these. 고운 정, 미운 정. We actually have an idiom saying 고운 정, 미운 정 다 들었어. 다 들다. 들었어 is the past tense. I said, when we say, we have 정 with each other, we use this verb 들다, 정 들다. 정 들었어. We're friends, family. But you can also say 고운 정, 미운 정. 고운 정, that good type of 정. 미운 정, that 정 with hate. I don't like you, but okay. I have to see your face again anyways. 고운 정, 미운 정 다, everything 다 들었어. I've been with that person for 20 years. I'm married with that person 20 years. Okay. 고운 정, 미운 정 다 들었어. We've been through thick and thin with each other. 고운 정, 미운 정 다 들었어. Ryan is smiling like he knows what this is like.
Well, I hear my father-in-law and Amma, mother-in-law. I've heard them say that before. So now it's clicking what it means. I'm like, hey, that makes sense now.
Okay, nice. So in Korea, this word 정 is used a lot in many ways. 정이 많다. 정이 없어 너는. 넌 다 좋은데. You know, but this is actually, you know, happening more and more. People becoming 정 없다. Being influenced by individualism. Many people are like, why? You don't need to force 정 to me. Like, I want to do my stuff. You do your stuff. Why do you think like I have to blah, blah, blah. Some people are becoming more and more 정 없어. But that's not bad, I think. But still, many words and phrases involving this word 정. Okay. If you have any questions related to this 정, then please ask. If there's no question, then we will move on to the next word that represents Korean characteristic. 저는 동동 스쿼드랑 정 들었어요. 동동 스쿼드랑 몇 년을 함께 해서 I've been with 동동 squad for many years. For example, I've seen Alex's face for many years. Maybe Alex랑 정 들었어요. Okay. Next word is okay, thank you for that.
미안해요. 아침 시도.
뭐라고요?
아침 시도해.
아침. Thank you for coming. 그래 와줘서 고마워요. 이게 뭐예요?
Is it rice?
네, 맞아요. 밥. 밥 can represent Korea very well. 그래서 밥. 자, 밥은 it means rice이지만 밥 means rice, but it can represent a meal. For example, if someone asks you, 밥 먹었어? Someone is very popular here.
미안해요.
밥 먹었어?
And
it means, you had a meal, right? Not specifically just saying, did you have rice? 근데 한국인들은 Koreans just ask this for saying, how are you? are you okay? Like, are you doing okay? And then they just say 밥 먹었어? So you don't need to like reply, yeah, I had kimchi jjigae for lunch and it was great. You don't need to say that. If they say, oh, 밥 먹었어? It's like, how are you? Oh, I'm good. When you go to America, people say that a lot. They're not really asking, how are you? Oh, you know, yesterday I had this and I met someone. You don't need to say that. Same in Korea, when someone asks you, 밥 먹었어? Then even though probably you didn't have lunch, then you can just say, yeah, and then move on to the next conversation. It's something like that. 그리고 또 when people meet each other, come across each other, oh, Ryan, oh, you're still in Korea, nice. Oh, you like Mom's Touch, I know, you're wearing this red shirt, I like your shirt, blah, blah, blah. And then they say, okay, goodbye. They will say, 언제 밥 한번 먹자. 언제 밥 한번 먹자. What does that mean?
Let's eat one time
네,
later.
맞아요. 맞아요. Let's eat one time later. This is just saying, oh, let's eat one time later, and then it's like, okay, bye, and maybe we'll see each other again. So you don't need to be like, when Korean person say, oh, 언제 밥 한번 먹자, let's eat one time, then you don't need to, okay, when and where, let's make a schedule right now. It's like just saying bye. It's like 그 예의로 하는 말. We say in Korea, 예의로 하는 말, just saying it for manner, just saying it for being nice. We say, 밥 먹었어? 밥은 먹고 다니니? Are you eating well? Did you eat? And then, let's have a meal sometime later, but bye. So you don't need to take this word seriously when people say this. When people actually really want to like have a 밥 약속, we say 밥 약속. 밥 약속. Meal meeting? Meal meal maybe
Reservation.
I don't know.
Reservation maybe.
Yeah, like 밥.
Like a lunch date?
What? Sorry, I didn't hear.
Like a lunch date?
Yeah,
I
like
would
lunch
say-
date, something like that. 밥, or we shorten this and we just say 밥약. Like lunch date, 밥약. They will either text you or say it again, or you can text them first, say, oh, let's actually have lunch or dinner sometime. So when someone says this, don't need to take seriously, just saying it for yay manner. Okay, and also 밥 쏠게. 내가 이번에 밥 쏠게. 많이 하죠. 밥 쏠게. This comes from 쏘다. Means to shoot originally. When people say 밥 쏠게, then it means, okay, this is on me. And usually when people have good stuff, good things happen in their life. For example, I reached 1 million subscribers in YouTube, then I can say, oh, I reached 1 million subscribers. 내가 밥 쏠게. I gather all my friends and I pay for that meal. Maybe some friend go to graduate school, then they will say, oh, I went to graduate school. Or their friends will be like, oh, okay, Alex is going to Harvard next year. Alex, you need to 밥 쏴. Alex, 밥 쏴. Then Alex will be like, 그래, 밥 쏠게. Something like that. So to Korean people, 밥, like all these human relationship is centered through 밥. So having 밥 together means something important. And and also it is true that when you have 밥 with each other, you become close together, right? So when you want to be friends with someone, then go make this 밥 약속. Go eat 밥 together. 그래서
It's not true. No, that's not true. Because
No?
every time I go out to eat, with my my wife, she doesn't talk to me. She just eats. I'm like, cool.
Why is she
She's like, we'll talk later. 나중에.
나중에.
I'm eating right now.
she's eating. She's busy eating right now.
Yeah, she's a busy eater.
Yeah, actually, it's true. Maybe so it's very common for Korean people to eat and then go to cafe later, right? 1차 밥 and then 2차 cafe. This is a very classic, usual date in Korea. So many cafes in Korea. Ryan is nodding. Another Ryan is nodding. There's just cafes everywhere. So like Ryan said, people can be busy eating. They maybe don't want to talk, so they eat first. And I get why Ryan thinks that way, because I'm also a busy eater, and when I eat, I don't really like to have deep conversations. So I just eat, and especially when I'm eating with an American people are can be, I think, I don't want to generalize, but can be very conversational. They ask deep questions when they're eating, but I don't think Korean eating style is like that. And it doesn't mean that like we're not feeling close enough to like talk deeply with each other, but just busy eating. And when eating, it's not like, okay, I don't want to make deep conversations when eating. And then later,
So, I think that's because like 미국 salam, like at the dinner table, that's our time to get together and talk, like talk about our days and stuff. Like that's usually as a family, that's when we talk.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of carries it over.
맞아요. I agree. But in Korea, there's also a fast lunchtime too, and maybe in lunchtime they don't want to talk too much, and so they go to cafe, and maybe in cafe we start to talk.
I have a question about 밥 약속.
네.
There's no verb in that phrase, right? Can you say that without anything else? Can you just say the
Okay.
밥 약속?
Yeah, very good question. I think if you want to include verb here, then we can say 밥 약속 잡자. Let's make a reservation. Let's make a meeting. Let's create a meeting.
Reservation 괜찮아요.
그래요? 괜히 헤비한 것 같아서 제 생각에는 doesn't need to
Let's
be 이거는
schedule a meeting.
맞아요. Let's
maybe?
schedule a meeting. And 이거는 especially to like college freshman한테 very 흔해요. Very normal. Especially when they first go to college and they want to make as many 밥약 as possible because they want to socialize, they want to get to know their 선배s, and this is just a word for them, like 밥약 잡자, 밥약. And whenever they meet someone, okay, 밥약 잡자, and 밥약. 그리고 아까 I was talking with Ryan and I thought of something, but I forgot. 얘기하려고 했는데. 이따가 생각나면 얘기할게요. 이따가 생각나면. 네. 그리고 또 이런 단어가 있어요. There's this another word. 이런 단어가 있는데, 자, 밥심. 이라는 단어가 있어요. There's a word called 밥심. Ever heard of this word, 밥심? 안 들어봤어요?
I have not.
맞아요. 이 단어는 조금 웃긴데 it's a little funny. It means rice power. So there's a phrase, 한국인은 밥심이다. 한국인은 밥심이다. These are what moms or old like 아줌마s used to say a lot when they want to make people eat. And they will say, 많이 먹어, eat a lot. always giving these maybe 3 bowls of rice and saying, 한국인은 밥심이야. Koreans run through this rice power. You need to eat lots of rice. Keep giving you rice bowls. Keep giving you rice bowls. They will always say, 한국인은 밥심이다. And also maybe not even grandmas when people are eating rice and eating rice, 맛있어. And maybe someone will say, did you know that rice is it's not healthy. It has this unhealthy carbohydrate, blah, blah, blah. Then people will say, 한국인은 밥심이야. Koreans run through rice power. You didn't know? And they will eat 밥. They always 밥심. 네, 그렇습니다. I also heard that rice is not healthy. I don't know, but I grew up eating lots of rice.
Brown rice is kataniyo.
그래요?
But the white rice, they take out a lot of the nutrition. So it's not really good for you. It helps you like fill you up if you eat jokum. But as you know, Hanguk salam eat mani. So
yeah. I think it's because Korea developed fast in a very fast pace. So our grandma generation was very poor. So at that time, they wanted to feel full with little things as much as possible. So I think that's where this is from. 자, 그러고 이제 여기까지 밥 했고.
y'all eat a lot of kimchi though, and that's really good for you.
Okay, yeah, 맞아요. 김치.
A lot of probiotics.
유산균?
뭐라고?
유산균? Probiotics.
Yeah.
찾아볼까? 맞나? Probiotics. Ryan said it's right. Okay.
Good for your digestion.
소화에 좋아요.
Probiotics.
소화에 좋아요. 소화 means digestion. 유산균, probiotics. 김치. 그리고 반찬, side dishes. It's true. With pop, we just not only eat pop, but we eat with all these banchan, seasoned vegetables. So I think this one is very helpful. So if you have any questions, please ask. Oh, hi, Jessa B. 그리고 이제 let's move on to some funny Korean words like 똥배. And also, don't worry if you didn't notate, this will be uploaded on YouTube. So I do have eraser for this board, but it doesn't erase very cleanly. So I use this 물티슈. In Korea, we call these wet tissue, 물티슈, water tissue, literally. 그것도 웃긴데 생각해보니까. Water tissue. Hey, can you get me some water tissue? 미안합니다. 자, 이제 좀 웃긴 한국어 단어를 볼 건데요. Funny Korean words. We learned this 똥배. 자, 이런 단어를 배울 거예요. We are going to learn these words. Words, but when you kind of dissect it, it's kind of funny. Like this poop belly. This means belly fat. And something like maybe 눈물, right? Tears. 눈, eye water.
eye water.
그쵸? 눈물, eye water. Something like this. 물고기. What is this?
Water meat.
Yeah, water meat.
Fish.
Yeah, fish. 맞아요. Other things? 생각나는 거 있어요?
Mole tissue.
맞아요. 방금 배운 거? 물티슈. 다른 거. 물개. 이게 뭐게? 안 보이는구나. Sorry.
Yeah. There we go.
물개. Water dog. What do you think this animal is?
A seal?
맞아. 맞아. Seal. Seal is called 물개 in Korea, water dog. 그리고 또 뭐가 있을까? Have you heard of this? 칼답. This is relative. 네? This is relatively a slang, a new word related to texting.
Oh, is it short answers?
Oh, how did you know?
Cause like a knife cutting it off, just like
Ooh,
knife answer.
nice answer. 그래서 short answers through text. 그 칼답 하세요. Answer me quickly because Korean people like fast stuff, so they always want them to. I'm very bad at that. 저는 핸드폰 잘 안 봐서 잘 못하는데 어쨌든 자, 이런 재미있는 단어. This is what I can think of right now. If you have any other words that you can think of, then please for me.
I think of with dongbae. I think of 물배. Everyone told me I was 물배 when I moved to Korea.
But everyone told you it's 물배?
Told me, yeah,
I know.
물배. They told me I was 물배 because I would drink too much water.
Oh, really? Okay. Maybe
Yeah.
this. Now that you say 물배, there's another word, 술배. This is similar to
술배.
술배. Alcohol.
Is that like you're a drunk?
Oh.
Is it like a bad thing, or is it like something you might use with friends?
Yeah, it's something you can use with friends. It's not a bad thing. These 똥배 and 술배 both not bad things, and it's not it doesn't really not necessarily saying that you drink a lot, you're an alcoholic, just as a joke, like beer belly, just a light joke.
Mm.
And we also say 앞에, 술배. 따로 있어. 더 먹어 더. Like, I have belly, another belly for just for dessert, or I have another belly just for 술. Pop, there's a belly for pop, meal. There's another belly for alcohol. So eat more. 이렇게 쓸 수 있어요. So, I think this is so cute. 물개, water dog.
I call my daughter Wang Gamcha.
왜? 왕 뭐라고요? 왕
Gamcha?
Like baked potato?
King potato.
King potato.
The boss.
왕 감자. He says he calls his daughter 왕 감자. King potato. 너무 웃기다. Now this makes me think of another phrase. 고구마.
Sweet potato.
맞아요. Sweet potato and 고구마 먹었어. Literally means I just had a sweet potato. 맞죠? But Koreans like to use this figuratively as well. 고구마 먹은 것 같아. What do you think that means? 고구마.
Oh, I heard it.
means to become it's like 답답하다.
맞아요.
Whatever that is in English.
맞아요. Feeling 답답하다. Whatever that in English. Actually, this moves on to our last topic. Korean words that are difficult to translate in English. 답답해. What do you feel when you eat 고구마? It's a little difficult to swallow through your throat. 맞죠? 고구마, sweet potato.
Mhm.
Ryan Saram, his face is like, can I
I'll
really?
eat, I'll eat the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I love goguma.
Many Korean people actually eat goguma with kimchi. You guys might feel like, oh, sweet potato with kimchi, but actually pretty good. You can try next time. Because we eat it with kimchi because it helps us to swallow through our throat. Sometimes goguma can be a little, it's stuck in my throat. My goguma is all here. So 고구마 먹었어. Figuratively describes this kind of situation like 답답해. 답답하다. I will let Ryan P describe this feeling. Because
답답하다 is like to be uncomfortable in a situation.
맞아요.
Like kind of
Discomfort.
yeah, like discomfort, kind of like when you're like if you were presented with two choices or someone's asking you two things that kind of is hard to give a answer and makes you kind of feel uncomfortable.
맞아요.
It's like that feeling.
맞아요.
That makes sense.
Can it also be used like if someone's asking you like a personal question and you're saying I'm uncomfortable? So it's not only a physical, but it's also like mental discomfort. Okay.
Right.
When someone asks you a question that you don't want to answer, I don't think they use 답답해 in that situation. It's rather something like someone asks you a question and you want to answer, but you don't know how to answer. Maybe in that situation, you can say 답답해. You want to do something, but you don't know how to do it. Or, for example, you're learning Korean, you understand what that person is saying, kind of, and you want to express yourself in Korean, but you can't because some things you don't know. Then you can say, 답답해. I want to say it in Korean, but I can't. Then you say, 답답해. Or many situations. Or you see.
I've heard friends say that when they're trying to say something in English.
Yeah.
답답해.
맞아요. 맞아요. Perfect example. Also, when you're very good at playing, let's say you're very good at playing basketball, and you are teaching your friend to play basketball as well, but that person is so bad at playing basketball, then you can feel 답답해. 왜 이걸 못해? Why can't you do this? It's so easy, just do like this. And the person's like, then you can say, 답답해. 답답해. And Korean people always do this when they say 답답해. 답답해. Then you say 답답해. Another example, maybe?
Yeah, I've heard that. With my sister-in-law, when we go to PC Bong and play Overwatchy, yeah, she says that a lot to me. I'm sorry. Play. I have a life.
Yeah, when playing Overwatch, Ryan is not very good at playing. Then another person can say, 답답해. Very good. Alex, do you have any example of feeling 답답해?
Like right now, when you ask me questions.
Yeah, very good. Right now, like, maybe he can think of many situations, but right now, because I specifically say, Alex, do you have something to say? He feels like, I can't think of any, and maybe before he goes to sleep, he can think of like 10 episodes. Okay.
Could it be like you want to express love to someone, but you can't find the right words to convey what you're feeling?
Yeah, that can be another example, but you don't want to say it in front of the person you love. You don't want to say, 답답해. Because you want to be romantic as possible. And maybe 답답해 is not the right word. You can say, 아쉬워. This is another word hard to translate. 아쉬워. Because 답답해 can sound a little aggressive. 아쉬워 can be like, it's a little sad that I cannot find the good word to describe this. Oh, it's a little sad. I feel so sorry that I could have done better, but I only did achieve this. I could have done this, but I feel like I've done that. Then you can say 아쉬워. 아쉬워. Like maybe you had a date with this girl that you liked for a year, and then you finally had a 밤약 with a girl, lunch date or dinner date, but you were so nervous, so you were like, you were being weird. Then you can go back home and you can feel, 더 잘할 수 있었는데, I could do better, but I feel 아쉬워. You can actually say this to her. 더 잘할 수 있는데, I can do better, I can be better, but 아쉬워. So that situation, like Tim, you want to express this love to your loved one, but you cannot find any better expressions than you can say, 사랑해, you are beautiful, 아름다워, blah, blah, blah. You say everything like that. And then you can later say, 네, 아쉬워. These are not the words that match my feelings for you. Then you can, I think 아쉬워 is better than 답답해. Oh, good question. Okay. What other words? Now there's this word. 시원해. 시원해.
시원해.
What does this mean, Ryan Saran?
몰라요.
Many situations you can use this, right? Anyone who wants to say it, feel free to say it. Ryan P, do you want to tell us?
It's like refreshing. It's right?
맞아요.
It's I don't know how to say anything beyond that.
맞아요. Refreshing is just not enough to describe this feeling.
Right.
맞아. Describe this feeling. You can see this in many situations, like literally the wind is blowing and you feel 바람이 시원해. You can feel the wind is refreshing. Or okay, let's number 1, wind is refreshing. Number 2, temperature is literally cool. Like literally, the temperature is literally cool. Number 3, you go to like hot bathtub, or sauna, like hot places, and you feel refreshed after that.
Can you use it like, say you're really thirsty and you get water and you're like,
네. 맞아요. You were thirsty.
Okay.
And then you drink, you become 시원하다. You can say that. And number 5, hot soup. Like, you know that many Korean people do 해장. 해장 meaning, is there a word in English for this? Like, after drinking, you eat food to kind of relieve that alcohol.
Recover.
Yeah, recover.
Yeah.
So there's 해장국 for like alcohol relieving soup, you know. 해장, this is advanced, but 해장 literally means, 장 means your intestines. Here, intestines. And 해 comes from a Chinese character to like solve. So literally means to solve your intestines. And 해장국, reliever soup. So many Korean people like to drink hot soup after hangover. So hot soup 먹고, it's hot, but they will say 시원하다. Or hot soup, or you can maybe here, like drinking beer or soda, Coke, something like that. You can say 시원하다. And then also, in situations you felt 답답해 because you cannot express yourself. You felt 답답해, but finally found a word to somehow, in English, they invented a word that can literally translate this word 답답해. Then you say, 시원하다. you become 시원해.
Isn't there's a word you can use there, the same like when you say 고고 마 먹었어요. You can say 사이다 when it's resolved, right?
그거 I didn't get your question.
Oh, the for that one, number 6.
Yeah.
Like if you're 답답해,
Mm.
but then finally get it out.
I got
사이다. You
Yeah,
can
I got
say
it.
that, right?
Got it. Yeah, in this situation, you can use this is a slang word too. You say, 이거 사이다야, because it comes from, in Korea, 사이다 is soda. There's something like Sprite. I know in England, 사이다 is like apple cider or something like that. But in Korea, 사이다 is something like Sprite soda, and yeah, it's very 시원해 when you drink it, right? So in these kind of situations, when it was very 답답해 but it becomes 시원해, Ryan, that's very good. I'm so impressed that you know this. We say 사이다, 시원해, 사이다. We also say this 사이다 in situations like, we're in a group, maybe group company 회식. And these young people in Korea these days, they don't really like 회식s. Our older generation, Korean older generation, they used to devote themselves in company life and stuff. But younger generations are more like, my life is more important than the company. So they don't really like 회식. And in 회식, there's always this maybe 꼰대 부장님. Do you know this 꼰대? I think I've done this in one of my videos. 꼰대 부장. 꼰대 is a word that describes these old people who, kind of difficult to say, like old people who like, this should be this way. You cannot go home after company. You must participate in our company dinner for our teamwork and for our company development, blah, blah, blah. They're 꼰대. And, among these 회식 meeting, there can be someone maybe like Ryan Saran, like yawning when this 꼰대 부장 is talking like, or I don't think like that. Maybe, they say something very 사이다. They say something very to everyone, because everyone was not saying what they were actually thinking, because they were all 눈치 봐.
That was such a hard concept for me when when me and my wife, when we were dating, she worked in company in Seoul.
Yeah.
And then she'd be like, I have to go to this company dinner. And I was like, why? Just don't go. And she's like, no, you have to go. I was like, okay. And then,
I know. So right now, the Korean generation is in this weird dynamic of people who think, okay, community is more important than the individual. We need to, if we're a team, then we need to follow this rule. And then our younger generation that think like what Ryan said. So there's this huge gap between, especially in Korea, I think maybe in the Western society, it's more, it's more resolved, but in Korea, there's a huge gap there. So we were doing 눈치 보다. 눈치 보다 is another word that describes this kind of dynamic, I think. Anyone who knows what 눈치 보다 means? No. 눈치 보다 can be a difficult. Sorry, I'm getting way far here in this class. I didn't really expect this. I teach a lot. I taught a lot. 눈치 보다 means 이걸 어떻게 설명하지? 눈치 보다. There's something you want to say, but you don't, because you want to just go with the flow and you don't want to make any trouble and something like that. Then in that situation, we say 눈치 보다. And many people say when you want to survive in Korean society, you need to be good at this, which is not good. I don't think that's a good thing. But because of the older generation tradition and some rules, we say that. But some people still become 사이다 and they make 사이다 comments on something, which is a good thing. So in that kind of situation, people will feel very 시원해.
Would it kind of be like the phrase "I held my tongue"?
Yeah.
Hold my tongue.
Okay.
Hold your tongue.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you want to say something but you can't because of like the social situation. So you say like, "Oh, I held my tongue." Like I held back.
Hold your tongue.
First stick.
Because in English they use this from your mouth, and in Korea it's from your eyes.
Oh.
So I think this is all that I prepared. It was a lot. Thank you for being here with me. I actually have a file that I wrote to kind of remember what I want to say in this class. So I will share this in our Kakao Talk chat room. Oh, and since I'm going to upload this on YouTube channel, there are many people who are asking how to be in this Kakao Talk chat room. I don't want to be someone who like advertise, but just to inform you, you can go to my Patreon site, and that's where you can enroll as a Kakao Talk chat room participant. 네. 자, 그러면은 오늘은 여기까지 할게요. This is it for today. Thank you for participating. Any questions? Lastly. 너무 고마워요. 근데 약간 너무 길었죠? It was too long, right? How was it, Amanda? Was it too long?
No, it was good. I enjoyed it.
그래요? 다행이다. 다행이다. I'm happy that I see you with your normal clothes.
No, I didn't change my pajamas.
Okay.
I'm presentable.
She was saying she was going to change to her pajamas before this class. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for participating, because I know that many of you are not in Korea and with different time zones and things, but still participating, it means a lot. I know that it means a lot. You are actually investing your time to this. Thank you so much. I feel so grateful, and I hope you have a wonderful day. 감사합니다.
Thank you.
감사합니다.
네, 좋은 하루 되세요.
Bye.